for Harry and Meghan as they continue to build their lives overseas?
For the time being, it's impossible for me to take my family back to the UK safely.
The answer finally dropped, not through some boring press release, not from a stiff palace statement, and definitely not from some spokesperson reading a script to a bunch of reporters. The answer came the way the palace always plays its best moves: quiet, sneaky, and sharp as a knife. King Charles spoke without saying a single word out loud. And let me tell you, that silence just shook the whole Sussex camp to the core. Harry wanted a summer at Sandringham. He wanted his kids to meet their granddad. He wanted the world to look and think, oh look, the family is fixing things, the son is trying, the king is welcoming him back. He even used the little ones as a bargaining chip, basically saying, fix my security, and maybe, just maybe, you'll see Archie and Lilibet. But the palace saw right through the act, and their reply? A door slammed so hard you could hear the echo across the ocean. Stay with me, because what's happening behind locked doors right now is way bigger, way nastier, and way smarter than any headline has dared to say. By the end of this, you'll know not just what the palace decided, but why, and what this means for Harry and Meghan's future. The move Harry made, and why it totally blew up in his face. Let's rewind. This wasn't some sad son just missing his dad. This was a chess move, carefully planned, leaked to the press, and set up to get everyone feeling sorry for him. Harry floated the idea of coming back to the UK for the summer. He brought up Sandringham, that fancy royal estate where the family gathers every year. He talked about wanting to see King Charles, but here's the part that made palace staff's eyes roll. He made it a deal. He hinted that if they sorted out his security, he'd bring the kids, Archie and Lilibet, the grandkids Charles has barely laid eyes on. Think about what that move does. It makes Harry look like the nice guy, the one trying to fix things, saying, I'll come, Dad, just keep us safe. And it makes Charles look like the bad guy standing in the way of a grandpa seeing his grandkids. That's some slick storytelling, or at least, that's what Harry thought. But here's the real question. If he truly wanted to patch things up privately, why did the papers know before the palace's own team? Why did the story leak before any private call? Because this was never about forgiveness. It was about pressure, and the palace saw it coming. The palace's answer? Dead silence. Listen, the monarchy doesn't fight in the news. No tweets, no live rants, no emergency briefings. That's not how they roll. They've lasted centuries, outlasted wars, empires, and every other royal family in Europe by following one rule: never complain, never explain. So when they want to send a message, clear and hard, they do it in silence. And that silence just screamed louder than any words ever could.
Now, that post comes after backlash over the palace's announcement King Charles would not put out.
The palace speaks through people who stay in the shadows, folks close to the crown who whisper to journalists without ever giving their name. Their words show up in the papers with no signature, but the message is so clear that everyone paying attention knows exactly who talked. And the reply they sent to Harry's Sandringham move? A straight-up no, not maybe, not we'll think about it, not we'd love to see the little ones, let's chat. Just no, firm, cold, and final. This wasn't some quick call. This was a decision built from years of watching things go wrong. And here's why that no hits the Sussex camp so hard. It came with a reason. Not a public speech. The palace would never do that. But the explanation is there if you look close. It breaks down to three things: control, privacy, and trust. Out of these three, trust is the big one. And trust is totally gone at this point. Let me break this down, because people throw around the word trust like candy, and it starts to sound soft. But the palace's lack of trust in Harry and Meghan is not soft. It's not emotional. It's business. Here's what that means. The palace has zero confidence, none, that anything shared behind closed doors will stay behind closed doors. This isn't just a feeling, it's a conclusion built from real, step-by-step public behavior that's there for anyone to see. Let's run through the proof. In March 2021, Harry and Meghan sat down with Oprah and spilled private family convos, including a talk about the skin color of their unborn child. Boom! Right there, the trust started crumbling, and it never recovered. That was supposed to be a private family talk, but tens of millions of people watched it live on TV. Then in December 2022, Netflix dropped a 6-part documentary series, and that just poured more gas on the fire. The most personal conversations about family drama, fights between brothers, and what it really felt like inside the royal machine. All of it got blasted out on one of the biggest streaming services in the world. Then in January 2023, and listen, this is recent, not some old news, Harry dropped his memoir, Spare. It launched at the same time in multiple countries and got picked apart by every news outlet on the planet. The book laid out specific details from private phone calls, exact words traded between Harry and his brother William, and private moments with his father that were never supposed to leave the room where they happened. None of that was meant for the public ear, but out it all came anyway. Shocking, right? Nothing that has been shared privately between Harry and the royal family has stayed private. Not one talk, not one moment, not one emotional exchange. So here's the question the palace is asking, and it's the only smart question for people in charge of protecting an institution. If Harry and Meghan spend time at Sandringham this summer, what happens next? Based on what they've done before, the answer is easy to guess. There will be new material. There will be another story. That summer at Sandringham will eventually show up somewhere, in an interview, a memoir, a documentary, or a leak to a friendly reporter. The small details, what was said at dinner, how the king looked, how the kids acted, what sweet or tense moments happened. All of that will get shaped and used to boost the Sussex brand. This isn't guessing, it's just watching what they've already done, and the palace refuses to hand them fresh fuel for another round. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The palace's caution isn't the same for Harry and Meghan. The worry is way bigger when it comes to Meghan. And before anyone screams, "That's racist," stop. This isn't about race. This is about something more specific, more proven, and more serious. This is about Meghan's skill with media and disclosure. Harry is messy. His bond with his dad is broken and shaky. But by many accounts, Charles still has real love for his younger son. That father-son connection isn't totally dead yet. Harry alone is one thing. Harry and Meghan together, that's a whole different beast. Here's why. Harry took part in the disclosure game. He wrote the memoir. He gave the interviews. He was in the documentary. His role is real and big. But people close to the palace say Harry is not the brains of the operation. He's not the planner. He's not the one who figured out how to take private moments and turn them into a full story with a beginning, middle, and ending that makes him look good. That job belongs to Meghan. Meghan Markle doesn't just use the media. She gets it on a level that even many media pros don't fully see. She knows how stories are built. She knows how small details can be stacked into a tale that feels natural, but is really carefully crafted. She knows the emotional timing, what to say first, what to hold back, when to drop the hardest hit for maximum damage. She has shown the smoothest, smartest, and most successful way to turn private family material into money and good publicity. In the words of people who've watched her work closely, she controls the story instead of just being in it. And the palace is not about to give her fresh material. Not at Sandringham, not anywhere. To really get why the palace won't budge, you have to understand how the British monarchy actually works. This isn't a celebrity brand. It doesn't run on the same rules as the Sussex business machine. The British crown has outlasted almost every other royal house in the Western world. The French royals? Gone. The Russian imperial family? Gone. The German, Austrian, Hungarian, and dozens of other royal families from 1900? All gone. Only the British one remains. And the reason is cultural. The monarchy has survived centuries of pressure by staying important to the people, while also staying mysterious enough to keep that magic alive. It's a fragile balance, relevant but not fully see-through, present but not totally exposed, human but not completely known. This balance, and pay attention here, is not just some PR move, it's the actual survival formula. It's why the late Queen Elizabeth never gave personal interviews about her opinions. It's why the palace doesn't answer every news story right away, and that balance is exactly what the Sussexes keep threatening with every reveal. This is why never complain, never explain isn't just some catchy line. It's a survival rule. The second you start explaining, you hand outsiders the right to judge you. You crack open a door that can never be shut again. What Harry and Meghan did with the documentary, the memoir, and the Oprah interview, they dragged reality TV logic right into the palace. They turned private family moments into public shows. They turned family drama into content. They built a money-making machine from what happened to them inside the royal system. And in doing all that, they raised a terrifying question, not just for Charles, but for the whole institution. What if every royal family chat is just a future Netflix scene? What if every dinner talk becomes podcast material? What if every real human moment between relatives is just content, waiting to be edited and sold? Once people start believing that, the magic is gone. What's left looks like any other celebrity family. Interesting for a minute, but shallow and easily tossed aside when the next flashy family shows up. That's what the palace is really guarding. Not Charles' hurt feelings, not William's pride, but the core idea itself, that something private still exists, something real, something truly beyond cameras and content plans, and that idea cannot live next to the Sussex playbook. Now, there's one more voice in this story that hasn't gotten nearly enough attention, Prince William. Because while the final Sandringham call is the King's, William's stance is anything but silent. William is getting ready to be king. He's been preparing with a seriousness that all the recent drama hasn't shaken one bit. And his vision for the monarchy he'll one day lead is specific, clear, and totally at odds with any deal that gives the Sussexes fresh royal material. William and Catherine have spent the last few years showing what the other path looks like. Birthday photos, official visits, small moments of real warmth that feel genuine because they're not constant and not for sale. We see their kids now and then in official settings. We know them as real people, but not through a non-stop documentary of their lives. That's on purpose. That's the plan. Compare that to the Sussex approach, which has used Archie and Lilibet as content pieces whenever it helped the brand. The difference couldn't be bigger, and William plans to keep it that way. His future monarchy will not be one where private family moments get dumped into public view. It will actively protect the private, because protecting privacy is exactly what makes the public moments mean anything. Any deal that threatens that structure, any return by Harry and Meghan that feeds new material into their disclosure machine, is something William will fight. Not out of revenge, not out of personal hate, but out of a clear vision for what the monarchy needs to survive the next 100 years. And that vision is rock solid. And that's another big reason why that door stays locked. The trap, and how Harry walked right into it. Here's the cruelest twist in this whole mess. The very thing pushing Harry to reach out to his family, money troubles, fading deals, and a desperate need for a fresh storyline, is the same thing that makes peace impossible. Think it through. The Sussex money machine was built on one product, the story of them leaving the royal family and everything that followed. The Netflix deal, the Spotify deal, the memoir, all of it came from that core story. The raw material was family drama, the pain, the behind-the-scenes look at one of the most secretive institutions on earth. But those deals are done now. Money is getting tighter. The brand is slipping. Meghan's lifestyle company has had a rough road. The income streams that were supposed to carry them after royal life just aren't cutting it anymore. And the pressure to create fresh material, new stories, new leaks, new access, is growing because the old stuff is running dry. So what's the most valuable new material the Sussex brand could possibly get? The answer is simple. A return to the family. New talks, new moments, new emotional highs and lows. Sandringham, King Charles, the grandkids meeting their granddad. A son and his father in the same room, trying to work through something deep and human and moving. That story, packaged right and sent through the right channels, could keep the Sussex operation rolling for years. The palace has figured this out completely, and their answer is the only one that makes sense: no. Harry is trying to use this invite as a way out of his trap, but by making the whole thing public, by turning it into a press story, by framing it to squeeze sympathy and pressure out of everyone, he just proved every worry the palace had about what a visit would really become. He tried to escape the trap and only sank deeper into it. So what would a yes actually take? Let's be real for a second. Is there any way from here to a yes? Any situation where the palace's answer could truly change? Is this door shut forever or just for now? Yes, there is a path, but it's not short, and the steps needed to walk it are nowhere close to being met. First condition, a real, lasting, and provable change in how the Sussex team handles private info. Not a promise, not a press release saying, "We'll be more private from now on." Not a tearful interview where sincerity is acted out for the camera. What's needed is a shown change in behavior, visible over time, where private family moments do not later turn into public content. Not in books, not in shows, not in podcasts, not through sneaky leaks from unnamed sources who just happen to know everything. This would have to be proven, not just said. The pattern of behavior that got us here is deep. It didn't come from one mistake, but from years of choices that built a whole business model around spilling secrets. One nice promise, no matter how real it sounds right now, would never be enough to undo a pattern that strong. Institutions with long memories need long proof. The second condition is rebuilding trust through time, specifically through a long stretch of contact, no matter how small, that produces zero leaks, zero behind-the-scenes briefings, zero documentary clips, zero book chapters, and zero social media posts that use private family access. Trust broken, the way it's been broken here, doesn't get fixed with nice speeches or fake smiles. It gets rebuilt through steady, regular, and totally clear absence of the very behavior that smashed it in the first place. And that absence has to last long enough to feel real, not months, but years. The third condition? Less talked about in public, but maybe the biggest one in real life. Some visible separation between Harry as a person and the Sussex content machine. Not a divorce, not any kind of public breakup, but something, some change in structure or behavior that makes it clear Harry's personal ties to his birth family are not also acting as the Sussex brand's way back into royal material. That means Harry's visits to his dad, his brother, or any family member will never end up in future content in any form. This last one is the hardest to imagine happening. Why? Because of how the Sussex business is built. Harry and Meghan move as one unit, publicly, for business, and in their storytelling. Their product is basically the ongoing saga of leaving royal life and the emotional and institutional fallout after. Separating Harry's personal family connection from that business in a believable, checkable way, without forcing a formal split between Harry and Meghan themselves, is extremely tough to pull off. It would require a kind of compartmentalization that goes against everything about how they present themselves to the world. And right now, there's zero sign that anyone on either side is even trying to make that happen. The Invictus turning point. So where does all this leave us? And what happens next? The biggest near-term moment coming up is the Invictus Games in Birmingham in 2027. Harry will come to Britain for Invictus, that's almost certain, or as close to certain as anything in this messy situation can be. But don't expect any warm family reunions anytime soon. Invictus is the one commitment Harry carries that truly stands above this whole mess. It has real credibility, real weight, and so much public goodwill that if Harry skipped it, people wouldn't just notice. It would become the only story, drowning out everything else. So yes, he will come. The real question is, what happens when he does? When Harry shows up for Invictus, questions will chase him that no PR plan can fully shut down. Will there be a private sit-down with the king? Any contact with Prince William? Will the reasons that make a Sandringham visit impossible or unwelcome right now have changed by then? Between now and 2027, a lot will go down. The court case over Harry's security will reach a decision. That ruling, whatever it is, will shift the real and emotional ground of his relationship with Britain. The Sussex business will keep moving, either towards some kind of stability and reboot, or further shrinkage and more pressure. And the King's health, a topic no one can officially talk about, but that hangs quietly over every serious conversation, will develop in ways nobody can predict. Any of these things could change the game in ways we can't see from the outside. Losing a parent has a way of resetting priorities, melting down institutional calculations, and opening doors for contact that no amount of careful media talk could ever create. Grief, and the strange clarity it sometimes brings, doesn't follow anyone's strategic schedule. But here's what time alone will not fix: the trust problem, the disclosure problem, the behavior pattern problem. Time doesn't heal those things by itself. Only changed behavior does. And that changed behavior has to show up consistently over a long stretch in a way that's clear enough, believable enough, and strong enough to actually shift the palace's real risk assessment, not just their public image, but their true institutional gut feeling about what is and isn't safe. That change hasn't started yet. There's zero visible sign of a Sussex operation becoming more private, less focused on spilling secrets, or more willing to let private moments stay private. The brand, the way it's built right now, needs the opposite. The content plan, the way it's structured right now, needs the opposite. And until that flips, nothing flips. The money setup of the Sussex business, the way it works right now, needs the exact opposite of privacy. So until one of those things changes, really changes in a way people can see, and that holds up over time, the palace's answer will stay the same. Not yet. And maybe, just maybe, never. The human side and why it matters. Let me pull back from all the strategy talk for a second. Because underneath all of this, the pressure, the broken trust, the spin, there are real people. There's a father with a life-threatening illness who has barely held his grandkids. There are two kids, Archie and Lilibet, who don't know their own grandfather, who have no bond with the family they were born into, who are growing up without the extended family ties most kids take for granted. There's a king dealing with a serious health battle while also juggling a shattered family and the weight of a 1,000-year-old institution he now has to carry forward. And there's Harry, a man who, by his own words, feels cut off. He lost the family he grew up in, the system that gave his life shape, the country he was born in. Now he's in California, far from everything familiar, with a shaky business and a broken family bond. These are real losses, real pain, real results that maybe nobody fully saw coming when those big choices were made. History shows these kinds of family cracks, especially inside royal families, rarely get fixed fast or cleanly. Queen Elizabeth and Princess Margaret had a messy, distant relationship for decades. Charles and Diana's post-divorce struggle stayed painful until her death. But history also shows that family breaks can get repaired, slowly, messily, in ways nobody saw coming at the worst moment. Whether this one gets fixed depends on choices not yet made, on changes in behavior that haven't happened yet, and on Harry's willingness to put something above the business he built his whole post-royal life around. The choice Harry faces. The palace, through its silence and the careful words of people who speak for it, has sent Harry a very specific message. And here it is. Come with the kids if you want. Bring Archie and Lilibet. Let the king see his grandkids. But leave Meghan behind, or at least accept that Meghan's presence is what slams the door shut, while Harry coming alone might keep it cracked open just a little. That is an incredibly hard thing for Harry to hear, even harder to act on. because Harry and Meghan aren't just a married couple. They're a joint business. Their money, their public image, their whole story, two people who just wanted something better and got failed by the system, all of that requires them to stick together as one unit. The second Harry starts pulling away from that unit, even a tiny bit, the whole story begins to fall apart. And yet, there are signs, small ones, easy to miss, but people who watch this closely see them. Harry, in some ways, might already be starting to create those little distances, and that changes everything. The little moments where he seems to back off from the harshest takes, the whispers that frame him mostly as a son missing his dad, not as half a brand making a business move. The hints here and there that something inside him is reaching for something the Sussex machine, the way it's built now, just can't give him. These are small signs. They live inside a much bigger setup that both he and Meghan built together and both depend on. Harry can't easily pull away from the Sussex story, money-wise or personally, without also pulling away from Meghan. And that kind of separation? Whatever shape it takes, it doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon. Where things stand and what comes next. So here's where we are. The invite hasn't come. The door is not open. The palace sent its message through its usual channels, not directly, not officially, but clear enough for anyone paying attention. The space between what Harry says he wants and what the palace is actually willing to do, the space where peace could someday happen, is still just as empty as it's always been. And the big question hanging over all of this is simple, huge, and unanswered. Is Harry willing to change? Not talk about changing, not leak to a reporter that he wants to change, but actually, clearly, visibly change. Stop feeding the machine, stop supplying the raw material. Step back from the disclosure game in a way that's real and long-lasting enough that the palace's risk meter finally starts to move. Is that kind of change even possible inside the life Harry has built? Inside his marriage? Inside the business he depends on? Those are the real questions, and the palace, in its usual silence, is waiting to see what Harry does with them. The answer hasn't come yet, but the question has been asked. The door is shut right now, but it's not sealed. And in that gap between shut and sealed, between a no for now and a no forever, lies whatever happens next. A break that eventually heals, or a break that becomes permanent. The next move is Harry's. If this breakdown helped you see what's really going on behind the headlines, drop a comment below. I read every single one. The comment sections on these videos are honestly one of the best parts of this whole thing. Here's the question I want to leave you with. Do you think Harry will actually make the changes needed to crack that door back open? Not the stuff he's talked about or hinted at in interviews, but the deep, real, lasting changes in behavior the palace would need to see before they change their mind. And the second question, honestly the more interesting one, do you think Meghan would allow it? Because any honest look at this situation has to face the fact that Harry doesn't move alone. The Sussex machine is a team effort. Any real change in how it works would have to be a team decision. Those aren't just talk questions. I genuinely don't know the answers. And I'm curious what you think, especially those of you who've been following this story closely and have thoughts beyond the surface level. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next video, because this story is far from over. Invictus is coming. The court cases are moving. The money pressure is building. There will be more to say, probably sooner than any of us expect.